Hey guys, welcome back. It's Tiana with StoreyHausBooks, and tonight we are doing part 5 of our series, Create a Simple Journal with me. So far, if you're just joining and missed any of the episodes, we did a cover. We picked papers and we did our signatures. Part 3, we put in some pockets. I showed you how to make those. In part 4, we did some more pockets. And so now we're going to continue that and make some more pockets and tucks and whatnot. And I'll show you how to make those. And all these are very, very simple. I'm trying to keep everything very simple. So don't worry, you don't need a lot of fancy schmancy anything with this, okay? So let's just real quick flip through here what we've done so far. We have these pockets and this envelope here. I did some stenciling here. The digitals are listed, the digitals that I use are listed in the description below. We've got just a simple little pocket here. This is actually an envelope that already comes pre-made with this acetate window. I get these from Temu, and then I just clip off the actual envelope flap and use it as a pocket, right? We did this pocket here, I believe, and then we did this here. We did this stamping here, this pocket here with the torn edge. We did the snippet strips here. We've done these 3 envelope pockets here where we actually have, let's just show you how many pockets we actually do have. We have one pocket here. You open the envelope, there's another pocket there, and the envelope below it will serve as the way to keep it flat down. There'll be another pocket there inside the envelope, another pocket here inside the envelope. So you end up having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets here. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually attach these 3 to a separate piece and then do another pocket here on the side if you wanted. So, there's that one. We also did this one here. This is the hidden journaling space here. Opens up, and there's actually a little flippy pad on the inside here. And when you put it all back together, it looks just like an envelope of some sort. Not really sure what we call this. I can't remember who I saw do this, so I'm really sorry if I knew who it was. It was so long ago, and I've just forgotten about them until recently. I was flipping through one of my old journals that had one of these in it. I was like, oh yeah, that would be cute, right? So I think it's super cute. We also did, what else have we done? We did these. These are just file folders that we attached. We put the gussets in, put some eyelets on it. These are decoupage with some Tim Holtz collage paper. We did those. And the next one, this was actually pre-made, so I'm going to show you how I did this one at some point. We've got some more pockets here that we're going to probably do. This one here I want to do tonight. Let's see what else we have already done. Nothing else. Okay, everything else we still have to do. Okay. Is that glue or is that just stain? Okay. So let's start with what haven't we done that's stinning? Let's just start right here. What's here? Okay. So here's 2 here. I haven't decided which one I'm going to put here. That's why they're both clipped here. So one is just a simple envelope. This one is a non-gusseted envelope that I stamped, made with craft paper. And then I used a die to cut this nice edge here. Then I did some stamping with some script. I thought it would look nice here with this on this page here. But then I also have this. This is made from an envelope as well. It's 2 pockets. You have one here. And we covered it with some Tim Holtz paper, and there's another envelope here. You can actually make this where it's 3 pockets. If I had actually cut this end of the envelope off, there'd be a pocket there, plus the pocket behind, and then this one here. You glue it down, you could do another side loader there. So it could be 4 if you wanted to do that. So part of me is thinking about making this a flip. So you can see this page, because it's so pretty, and I don't want to really cover it. So I think that may be what we're going to do. And then save this for something else. So let's do that. I'm going to get the supplies that we're going to need for this, and we'll get started. Give me 1 second. Actually, before we start, I want to show you guys a couple things that I've been working on. The other day, I got really, scrap happy, and started just making a bunch of stuff. And so I just kind of wanted to share it with you, because I'm going to do some videos to show you how I made these. But I was on this kick of, I was going through all my scrap drawers. I got 3 scrap drawers. And they were getting kind of full, so I was like, you know what, I gotta do something to get rid of this stuff. So what I did was I was just grabbing the bigger scraps and figuring out something different to make and use up as much of that stuff as I can. So Outside of making, well, I made some more clusters. These are actually going into the store. Aren't these cute? Look at those. I love these. I almost kept these for myself, but I think they're super cute. I love these. Here's another set that I did yesterday with some lace and flowers, some kind of cute, grungy, shabby chic kind of ones here. That was cute. I love these. Those are going up in the store soon. I made there's stuff in this box I want to show you, but I made these two things, and I haven't seen anybody do anything exactly like this. I'm sure somebody has. So forgive me if I don't take credit for them, because I'm sure somebody may have done these, but I haven't seen any video yet. So, but again, this is just a scrap piece of paper, and I decided to make it a trifold. It's being held together with a label, just like that, to keep it closed. And inside is just pockets inside here, right? 3 pockets. And you fold it up and close it like that. Glue it down. It can be a tuck. You can have it as a side loading pocket, even a top loading pocket. You can put another pocket or a tuck on the front. Decorate with some cluster work or whatever. But I thought this was really cute, right? And it would totally fit on any page that I do, because my pages are usually, I try to keep it within a space of 5 by 8, right? To give me a little bit of wiggle room. But this totally fits on a 5 by 8 page. And I think it's super cute. I made a bunch of these. So I'm going to put that in the idea book, and then we'll do that maybe like in a mass make or something. But there's one thing I came up with that on scrap day. This one, again, I think I've seen Shabby Dabby Doo Dust do something similar to this. But this is another little folded piece being held closed with a label, you know. But this one actually has writing space here, and then there's pocket right here. It's a gusseted pocket, right? And this, again, there's writing space here. So the idea is not just to have a flap, but to actually have writing space. So if you've got that one-sided paper, this little project would be perfect for that. Even if you have double-sided paper, like this is Tim Holtz. You know, he's got a lot of those that have that very plain one side, so that would be perfect. I made a bunch with his paper, with his backdrops, using that blank space, or that neutral space as writing space. And again, that just holds that closed, and you can, fits perfectly on a 5 by 8 page. And again, you can make this a tuck, you know, or another pocket as well. So I thought that was super cute. So we're going to probably put that, or definitely going to put that in the idea book. Maybe do that in a mass make. This box is just a bunch of stuff that I made with all the scraps. So I had a bunch of like just scrap pieces of black and craft paper. So I did some, obviously a lot of die cutting. So I thought that I'd put these up in the store for people that don't have the die cuts or whatever. So we had some specimen slides here that I got rid of a bunch of scraps with that. More specimen slides, more scrap specimen slides. Aren't these cute? I love these colors. I had a bunch of like little cutoffs from some of the folios that I did in this paper. This is English Garden. You can't get it anymore. I got it at Joann's. I don't know if you can even find it anywhere else, but it was called English Garden, and it was double-sided and super cute. So I did a bunch of specimen slides with it. So I was gonna put those up, you know, in the store as well, because I got so much scrap paper, and I just went die cut crazy. But then I also had a bunch of like misprints, or stuff that I printed on the wrong paper, or part of it didn't print right, or it only printed half. So I decided to see how much of it I could use up and not waste any of it. And I made these little ephemera kits that with like in matching colors. So like for this one, these two papers actually came out of the same digital. This is from My Porch Prints. I think it's Autumn Academia. But just from 2 sheets of paper, look at everything I got. Look, ticket, bookmark, another ticket, another ticket, another hand cut ticket. These are all hand cut too. We got a tag, a little bitty tag, another bookmark, some small journaling cards, and they're all backed with coffee dye paper. It's got some tab journaling cards here, a couple sizes. These I'm going to show you guys how to make. I cannot remember. Okay, I know I saw it at Sunset Crafts, and I know she saw it from Gail Agostinelli, and I can't remember where Gail saw it. I think she calls them stack and whack tags, but check these out. I haven't sewn them yet, but look at this. It's actually 2 kinds of paper, and it's all torn up, and I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this fashion, and I'm going to show you guys how to make these, right? What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to sew along the seams where it comes together, Let's see if you guys can see that. Where it comes together here. I want to do some sewing. And I want to call these Frankenstein tags. That's what they kind of look like after you do the stitching. So again, I got these tags here. I got 2 more big tags, and all of this out of 2 sheets of a sheet and a half of paper. Or 2 sheets, 2 8 by 11 and a half sheets of scrap paper, or misprints. So I figured, you know, maybe I could do this and just sell them and put them in the store as a set, as a matching set of ephemera, right? I mean, you end up getting like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 pieces that I came up with out of those 2 sheets of paper. How cool is that? And I didn't waste, but maybe, I mean, I'm talking like little bitty triangles from where I cut off from the tags. Isn't that cool? I did it again with these misprints. I printed these on, I forgot the paper that I had in the printer when I printed these off, and it all printed on cardstock. So I didn't need it on cardstock. I needed it on regular 24-pound paper. So I did the same thing again, and this time I used 3 different sheets. Ended up getting, okay, here's some tickets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, these are all hand cut. 2 bookmarks, some journaling cards. We got 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is pretty. I love this green. It's called Tattered Green is the kit. 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we got some tab journaling cards here. Oh, isn't that pretty? I love the pinstripies. You know me and pinstripes. More tab journaling cards. Big giant tab journaling cards. Then we got all these beautiful tags in this matching kit. And this was, I think this was 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. This was 4 sheets, I believe. Was it 3 or 4? 1, 2. No, it was 3. I'm sorry, I lied. It was just 3. 3 sheets of paper that I misprinted on cardstock by mistake, and then I backed it with coffee paper. And I'm probably going to go ahead and stitch around the whole thing just to make sure that coffee paper sticks down and give it that more finished look. But look at all this that we got from just 3 sheets of paper scrap, right? How cool is that? All the little tickets. Maybe do some stamping on those or something. I don't know. Anyway, this is, I'm also going to put this kit up in the store, I think. You know, a little matching kit of ephemera. I thought it was cute. So there's that. I've been working, like I said, that's stuff I've been working on top of the custom jobs that I've got going on. These go in actually the idea box. These need to be put in the store, so I'll put those to the side again. And then these go in the idea book, which is over there. But oh, what else is other stuff? I also did. So a lot of you guys, well, a lot of you guys have purchased them. You guys know I do the black cover blank journals and themes and coffee dye paper or digitals, ledger or whatever. So I figured I might do some for Father's Day that are a little bit special. So I made 4 for Father's Day. So I'm gonna put these up in the store. Up for Father's Day. They're more on the masculine side. They're all different. All 4 of them are different. And they come with the pin clip. And they all have the book plate on it. And then I use these time cards as a bookmark. I thought it'd be cute. It's got an envelope in the very front. But the papers, the digitals are from like Marvelous Men, Distinguished Gentleman from Seven Plaza, Marvelous Men from Shabby Dabby Doodah. It's got ledger paper in it, coffee dye paper. A bunch of these are, some of these for freebies from Seven Plaza. This is a digital I have of some old, I believe it's German documents. But like I said, each one's different. And at the end, there is like a little paper frame for a photo at the end. But like I said, each one is completely different. And I thought it'd be nice to have something, you know, if your dad or your brother or your uncle or your cousin or your spouse or your partner would like a blank journal, you know, to give something to start with. These would be cute. And there's plenty of writing space. I didn't do any pockets on the inside. There's plenty of writing space in here. You got this cute, you know, dot grid paper. I love these. This is more of like a Victorian gentleman type of journal. Look at these. I love these digitals. Let's see. Ah, look at this one. Isn't that cool? But again, these are some new things that are going up in the store. So the link to our store is in the description. So just FYI, go check these out. And those will be up in the store. So that's what's new at the Storey House on Etsy. And I'm also going to be doing in the next video. Maybe we'll do it at the end of this video. I've got a bunch of vintage ephemera, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out 2 pieces. I'm going to start doing this at more often and during the videos in the very beginning or maybe the end, where I'm going to show you 2 pieces of ephemera that I want to give you guys, and you guys get to vote on which one you guys get for free. Okay, so I've got things like old book pages, I've got letters, they're envelopes from the 20s, I've got postcards, I've got a couple of newspapers from the late 1800s from France. They're fashion magazine or fashion newspapers. So I've got some old like architectural blueprints and a whole bunch of stuff that I want to share. I mean, I'm kind of hoarding it, but I also want to share it with you guys for those of you who don't have that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's coming up also. So looking forward to sharing that with you guys. Anyway, let's get back to this. And we were going to, what page were we on? We were on this page. We were going to make this. Now I do have a video for this already in, I believe it's Mass Make March, that playlist. I believe it's called Double Pocket Envelope, something similar to that. But go look at that playlist and you'll find it in there if you want a longer video of it. But we're going to do a quick one here. So we'll put the book to the side. And what you're going to need is, I think this is I don't know what size they call this size envelope, but it measures 9.5 by 4. Okay, and this was made from craft paper. I got these again from Joann's. I have never seen these long ones in the craft before, so I bought a bunch when they were going out of business. Wah. Still can't believe they went out of business, because you can't. The stuff that they had, you just can't get at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And then if you go online, you got to pay the shipping, and you guys know the dilemma. Anywho, so okay, so you need one of these envelopes. We're gonna need some glue. Any glue you want, it's totally fine. If you're gonna ink, you're gonna need your dauber and your ink of choice. We're gonna use Scorched Timber, the ink, not the oxide, but the ink, in our dauber. You're gonna need paper to go on there. You'll need your scissors. So I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz scissors. And the paper that I think we'll use, because since I'm going to probably use this one in the book, let's just grab a Tim Holtz one. Anyone will do. How about this one? Oh, this has got score marks on it. I think I was trying to make something out of that. Let's do something that doesn't have score marks on it. How about something in color? This green will work. This is actually a copy of one of, I wanted to see what it would look like if I copied on my printer one of Tim Holtz's backdrops. And it came out okay. It's a little bit blurry, but it kind of gives it a little bit of a grungy look anyway. So once we ink it up, it'll look even better. So let's use this one. That actually happens to measure 10 by 6, just FYI, if you're wondering what the size that is. And we're going to be cutting it down to the size. So what you're going to do is very simple. This is a very easy project. Is first we're going to close this envelope up. Now only put your glue around the edge because you don't want to lose the pocket, right? So we're only sealing this to create that pocket in the back or the pocket on the top. Okay. Seal that up like so. Where's my pen? Okay, I'm going to seal this up, and then very, very simple. Very simple. We're going to cut off just a sliver of the top. Now you can use your paper trimmer if you want as well. Up to you. We're just going to cut off a little bit. I mean, like literally just enough to open it up, right? And that's one of our pockets. Then we're going to fold up the bottom piece like so, to whatever height you want, right? I mean, it can be as tall as this one. It can be shorter if you want to do it like that, right? If you want to make it even taller, make it a small pocket at the bottom. Again, totally up to you. So for this one, I'm just going to eyeball it. And we're going to go up about 3 inches, okay? About 3 inches, give or take. And then we're just going to fold that there. Grab your bone folder and give it a nice burnish there. Give it a nice crease. Okay? Now right now you got another option. If you wanted it to be more than 2 pockets. Now right now we're going to have a pocket here and a pocket here. Excuse me. Yes, I'm sick, of course. can add a third pocket by simply snipping off a sliver here, and then you'd have a pocket here and a pocket behind it, okay? We're not gonna do that for this one. We're just gonna keep it as a double pocket here. And to do that, we're gonna glue it down, but first we're gonna put our paper on. Now, I like to, if you notice in this one, I like to keep the border around it. You don't have to do that, you can go all the way to the edge. So we're just gonna cut our paper to size here. We'll cut the first one out of this. So let me cut some of this white off. Actually, like it's bugging me. Ink. Come on. All right, let me make sure I'm in frame. Yes, we are in frame still. And I think I want this part up here. So what we'll do is I'm gonna just measure a little bit. How do I want this? What's the easiest way to show you? Let's do this. We know it's 4 inches, so let's go ahead and just cut it. What I normally do is just cut it with my big trimmer. So since I know it's 4 inches across, right? And I want this border, which is probably about 1/4 of an inch total when you add both sides. We're gonna cut this down to 3 1/4. Since I want this side, we'll do 3 3/4. Okay? And that should give us a nice border. So let's just double check. Yes, it does. Okay, you see right here? We'll do that. Probably would have liked it a little bit thinner, but this will work too. Okay. So we'll go there, and then we're going to mark where we're going to cut it into 2 pieces. Let me grab my pencil here. Yes, I do. All right, since I want this part up the top, I'm going to cut it, I want it right about there. And I don't have to go all the way down to the bottom here. I just need it to where it goes just underneath that lip, right? So let's do, just to be safe, I'll go right here. I'll cut right there. So I got my small paper trimmer, and we'll cut that piece. And that should be plenty of room right there. Perfect. All right, and let's mark here how far down we want it. I'm going to say right about there. Are we good? Where'd my mark go? I didn't even remember where I put the mark. Where did I put it? Okay, I just totally lost where I put the mark. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, there it is. Found it. Found it, found it. Now I lost it. Oh, there it is. Jeez. All right. Make sure that's straight on there. All right. And that ought to do it for this one. So we'll put this one here, and then this one would go right here. Yeah? Now, you can do some stitching here if you want to. I'm thinking we might. Let's ink it first. Let me see what I think about that with this, the inking. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and ink my envelope here. And if you want to put a notch, this is a, grab your circle punch, and we'll do the notch once we add the paper. Please feel free to fast forward through the inking process. You will not hurt my feelings at all. Okay. We'll do the second bottom part here. I feel like I got like a little cat hair somewhere on my face. This is bugging me. It's driving me crazy. I have a long-haired silver cat, and it's just, her hair gets everywhere. Her name is Schnitzel. She is a button. I love that little cat. She's my princess. I actually have 2 cats. I have Schnitzel and Cassie. Cassie is a little teeny tiny calico. She is precious too. They're both precious. I love my kitties. I am definitely a cat lady. Okay. So I think that's good. I'm trying to see how I did without the glare from the light here. All right. Now let's ink these up and see what we get here. This is probably going to go in my stash for sure. I kind of like this green. It'll be great for Halloween, which isn't far away, which means Halloween grungy folio time again. Let's see, I wonder, you guys remember how many did I do last year? I did a lot. I want to say I did at least close to a dozen of those last year. Okay, let's see what we think. Let's get the corners really good. And see if we want to do any stitching. I'm leaning towards it already, but let's take a look and see what this looks like. So this piece would go here, and like I said, I'm going to give it a little bit of a border. This will fold down, and this piece will glue here. I don't know, what do you guys think? I can go either way here. You know what? I'm going to sew it. I'll be right back. I'm going to do some stitching. Okay, and we're back. We did a real quick zigzag stitch here. I'm going to leave the threads on. And we're just going to glue these down real quick, right? Actually, we're going to switch from art glitter, since I did do the stitching, over to Fabri-Tac. It's a lot easier when you're gluing down some stitching, since it's fabric glue. Okay, and we're just going to cover the whole thing with the sound effects. All right, if you did do the stitching, watch your stitching. You don't want to get that underneath there. And we're going to place it, try to make the borders even. There we go, I think that looks good. And just press that down. Really simple project. Just another one of these, you can mass make these. Make tons of these and just have them in your stash and yank them out when you need them. Which is what I do. Okay, there's that one. And then here's the bottom. Make sure I'm doing this the right direction. Yeah. Okay. Make sure I get that corner. Okay. And then we're gonna do this side. Again, trying to even out all the borders on all four sides. And then you want to make sure it's lined up with the paper you have up top as well, right? Okay, I think we're good there. I'm just going to press this down. Oops, a little crooked. I'll make sure I didn't move it too much. There we go. Okay. And then that, once the glue sets, if it'll set already, is that. Okay, now we just got to make a pocket real quick, and for that I'm going to switch back to the art glitter glue, get a little bit thinner bead, and we're going paper to paper. So let's see, you can also use that. I was going through my supplies trying to use up what I have, and you know what, a glue that I totally forgot that is really good, Aleene's tacky glue, the turbo tacky, and it was only $3.49 versus $20 for this. But I forgot how great this glue is. This is really good. So if you have this or you see it, get it. It's really good. I use that when I'm doing like maybe larger pieces and I don't want to use my more expensive glues. This is a great inexpensive glue and it dries really fast. I love it. It's great. One thing I don't like is the tip is really wide, so you can't get that nice thin bead. You'd have to put it in a, like maybe a Sugar Bell bottle or something. But anywho, I just wanted to point that out. That I forgot I had that glue and it's so great. I've been using it a lot lately just to at least use it up and not have it just sitting there being wasted. Alright, thin bead there, and then I hope it sticks because it doesn't get on that thread. I find that art glitter glue does not do well when you're gluing together stitched items. We had a little bit of paper come through that stitch there. So we may have to go back over it with art glitter glue. Well, let's see. So what I'm doing right now is I'm inking back over where some of the white core came through the stitching where I stitched. So we don't want to see that. Okay, let's take our bone folder and give it a nice burnish to help it grab on there. And we'll just go around our paper too, make sure that it's down really well. Really well as well. Make sure it's down really well as well. That just sounded intelligent. Not really. Okay, how's it doing? I think we're doing okay. All right, well, that's it. Easy peasy. That's a real quick project you guys can do. Mass make those. I actually kind of like that neon. Let me save that one for... I like that color. It's kind of really cute, actually. All right, scrap-a-doodles over there. All right, that was one. So let's put the pocket... Ow. I just got my fingernail stuck in another book plate on another book. Ouch, that hurt. All right, if I can remember where we were going to put this. We were going to put it somewhere here. I think it was going to go... Oh, it's one of our library cards that we made. Y'all, I forgot where we put it. I forgot where we were going to put it. I know it's around here somewhere. Let's see. Let's go get the faux stack pages. We still need to do those. That's got something. Oh, here we go. So, remember how I was thinking maybe we'll do this as a flip? Because I really don't want to cover the page. Or we put it over here. We can do that too. And then just make sure we have big enough journaling cards so they don't lose any journaling space by covering this up. And what do we think? How are we doing on thickness? We're doing fine on that. So we could make this a flip. Then we actually give her more journaling space. Let's do that. All right, let me grab a scrap of cardstock. Do I have any scrap cardstock around me? No. Let me see what I've got over here. All right, now I've got to go grab some cardstock. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. So I had some black cardstock offcut here, so we'll make the flap out of that. And I'll put my pencil there so I don't forget where we were this time. So easy peasy. If you don't know how to make a flap, this is for you. So luckily that this is the exact size that we need as far as height. And to make a flap, I normally only cut it to be about 1 inch wide. It's usually all you need. So we'll take our small cutter here and just cut 1 inch off. Like so. Put that to the side. And then we're going to fold this in half. Excuse the glue under my fingernails, you guys. We're just going to fold this in half, real simple. And the flap doesn't have to be perfectly in half, but just close enough, right? Okay, give that a nice hit with your bone folder. You want a nice crease there, okay? Now, I am going to miter the ends just because I like that look. You don't have to. Just a little bit off the edges, off the ends here. All right, and then all we're going to do is glue this to the back of here. All right, what's important to note though is when you are gluing this on here, you want to go all the way up to the edge, okay, as far as you can. If you don't, when you open this, and any of this part is sticking out over that, this won't open all the way. It'll actually hit the other page, okay? So you want it as close to the edge, if not maybe even a little bit past is fine too, okay? But all the way to the edge, that way when you open it, it's not hitting the surface when you open it, okay? Right? Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to open it all the way, right? It won't open flat like this, okay? I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, all right, we're going to grab our art glitter glue since we're going paper to paper. And we're going to put a nice bead on here. Make sure you get to the edges. All right, and then we're going to take this, make sure I got this right side up. And we want it to open this way, so we want this over here with the edge to the outside. So make sure I'm in frame. Okay, we're just gonna set this right there, as far to the edge as I can get it. If it goes a little bit past the edge, that's fine. Okay, and that ought to do it. Really easy way to make a flip. Okay, so let's insert this into that page. And this way we don't lose the image. We add journaling space without taking it away by covering up the opposite page. And it's a nice interactive piece, a nice simple interactive piece, yeah? And you could even put a tab on here if we wanted to. Ooh, why don't we do that too? We'll do that when we decorate, we'll do that. What I'm gonna do is actually just to indicate that it's a flip, or just to give a hint of it, we'll put a tab on this side so you'll flip it up like so. Then you'll see the pretty image underneath, yeah? And we won't lose it. So, grab our art glitter glue again and just position this. Okay, I don't want to go too far to the edge. I think we're just going to go dead center with it. A little to the left. So we have room for the tab over here. And then we'll do some nice cluster work here on the bottom or something. Okay. And we are good to go. Opens nice and flat, which is what we want. Yeah. Good deal. All right. So there's that. All right, there's our piece. It's our flip out, like that. All right. And if you wanted, you could put a paper clip down, keep it folded down, or you could put, if you wanted to put a piece of Velcro there to make it stay down, a magnet, whatever. I think it's fine, just the way it is. The weight of it should keep it down. Okay. Alrighty. Now, next, what are we gonna do next? How much time do we got? We are at not even half an hour yet. Great. So let's start in signature number 2. And I can show you how we make. This one is another good mass make. Okay. This is an envelope, a way of doing these envelopes that I saw Seven Plaza do. Now, if you know, it's a coin envelope. Now, normally you'll see the seam in the front with the flap and whatnot. The way she showed us how to do it was to flip it in the opposite direction, so you don't see the seam of the papers in the front or this fold here either. Right? It's nice and flat. And then this nice cute little closure, right? So let's do this one. We're gonna put this one. Now see, again, I don't wanna cover that image, but I wanna show you guys this envelope, and it goes really good with this page. So I think for this one, we might, should we do another flip and make that a thing? We could do another flip so we don't lose this journaling space and just do another flip. But then I'd have to cover this back piece up. I've got tape on it, which wouldn't be a bad thing. We could cover it with like an envelope this side. Oh, that's a good idea. Why don't we do that? We'll do it as a flip, so there'll be an envelope here, an envelope there, so we'll be able to cover this up, and then they'll still be able to see the digital underneath. Let's do that. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we're gonna make this, and we'll make one of the smaller envelopes here. Same style. You'll see the seams are on the back, right? You don't see them in the front. And we'll do two of these sizes, and then we'll just glue them together. We'll make another flap to lay underneath here, so it'll fold open like this. You'll have 2 pockets. And we could even, if we wanted to, we could leave that open and do another pocket right there, but then you'll be able to see the image, and we'll add journaling space. Yes, let's do that. That'll be fun. All right, let's go grab the paper for that, or pick the paper for that. Let's see, what size was that? The bigger one was from an 8 by 11 piece. So we'll probably keep to that. Do I have an 8 by 11 piece over here? You can always make one. All right, I'm gonna pause again, and I'm gonna go grab a scrap piece, a misprint, and we'll do both of those. 1 second. Okay, and we're back. I found some more misprints on some cardstock here. This is from the Tattered Green collection that I have. And we're going to use these. We're going to make the big one out of this one, so this will be in the front. and the smaller one we'll make out of this sheet here. So let's go ahead and cut the white off. I'm trying to do this quickly. There we go. And this is just simple 8.5 by 11. I'm just cutting off the borders here. Now the great thing with these kind of envelopes, it really doesn't matter what your measurements are, as long as it's, you know, large enough when you fold it in half, right? So if this is an 8, let's just say for argument's sake it's 8 inches across. Once we fold it, it's going to be about 4 inches wide, right? Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're measuring how big you want your page to be. It's going to be about half as wide as your paper once you do the folding, okay? All right, there's that one. And then this one, we're just going to cut the white off, and then I'll decide how big I want it. I may just cut it in half long ways, and that'll probably be the right size. But let's see how big this one is first, and then we'll decide together on that. Alrighty, so, okay, so we're obviously gonna need space for the, let me pull these pieces out. Alright, so we're gonna make this big one first. We're gonna need enough room at this top part for the flaps, so keep that in mind as well. And we're gonna be taking into consideration the bottom flip up as well for the bottom part of the envelope, right? So this is what I normally do, is I'll flip it over and I just fold this over in half, or to about halfway on the paper, yeah? And then bring the other side over to where it overlaps about 1/4 inch, like so. That's way too wide, wider than I wanted. So let's do this. I'm going to cut, how wide is this one? This one is a little over 3.5. So let's cut off, let's see if my small trim will fit. I'm going to cut off from each side about 3/4 inch. And that'll definitely narrow it down. That'll be 1.5 inches narrower than it was. So let's do 3/4 inch right about there. See, you gotta keep those things in mind when you're deciding how big of a piece of paper you're gonna use. That's 3.5, that's 3.25. Okay, oh, I didn't cut all the way. Oh, geez. This is one of those paper trimmers you gotta push down the what you call here, the cutter. Did I get it? Okay, good. Keep those strips because I like that print. All right, do this again. We're gonna fold it in half, so let's right about here. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I really wanted that in the center, so we're gonna try to keep it pretty close. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, we're gonna fold this over. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe a little more because I really want that in the center. Looks like I need to cut more off than I thought. Okay, so let's tighten this up. And here is good. Let's see, it's pretty close. Now, if you don't have pattern with paper, it really doesn't matter, but I'm really trying to keep this in the center. So you fold it over, fold this other one over. I'm actually going to cut some of this off. We don't need this much, and it will create bulk we don't really need. And again, since this is going to be on the back and will be covered, okay, let's keep that scrap. All right, we're going to give this a nice, good burnish here. Get that fold out too. Okay, that works. That way, it doesn't really matter. All right, so now we have that. Then we're going to fold out the bottom part about 1/2 inch. You don't have to measure this, just flip it up. Okay, make sure that it's even in the front. So I'm going to pull this side up a little bit. There we go. Give that a nice crease. All right, then we're going to decide how big we want our flap. So just flip it down the length you want your flap. So I'm going to go right about here. It says almost 2 inches, not quite. That looks about right. That looks good. Okay, is that straight? Okay, let's give that a nice crease as well. So what we're going to do is actually flipping this over, and that side's going to be the front. Okay. Now. Okay, so let's do some mitering. Get rid of some of this bulk. All right, so what we're going to do is flip this back over, open it back up. Well, actually, first we're going to do this. Keep it folded, sorry. And on the bottom part where the small flap is, we're going to miter it from the fold to the edge at an about 45-degree angle. Okay? And the same on the other side. And what you have when you open it up is something that looks like this. Okay? Then we're going to cut off this flap and this flap. Okay? Now we're not going to do it straight across the fold. We're going to do it at a slight angle. Okay? If you don't do this at a slight angle and you fold this shut, those edges may not match up, and when you fold this flap down, it may be too long, and you might get some extra folding, and it creates bulk. So when we do this, let me close it up. It's nice, and it'll lay nice and flat. Okay? All right. So we got those two pieces off. All right. Now for up here, to get it to go and fold in the opposite direction, so we have the seams in the back. Okay. We're going to take this and we're going to actually cut our flap to size. Now again, I do it by hand, and I cut it about 45 degrees. Okay, on both sides, just like we did at the bottom. That looks about right. Okay, you're going to open it back up. At this middle flap, you're going to fold down and glue it down. Okay. All right. All right. And that's going to be the opening of your envelope now. Okay. Then we're going to close this back up. Let's see. We don't want to see if it looks better that way, or yeah, that way's fine. Okay. So first you're going to close the larger flaps. So just put a very thin bead on the top here, on this flap, all the way to the edge, and the inside edge of the other side. Okay. Make sure that's down. I'm going to give it a nice creasing again. And then we're going to fold the small flap up. Like so. Easy peasy. Now, flip it over to the front. Flip this part down. And this is your front flap of your envelope. Okay? Now, this doesn't bother me. I know they don't match up, the two ends. That doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, you can cover it with something else. Use non-pattern paper. Or like with this one, it's the same pattern all over it. So when they got together, you can't really tell that they're mismatched. Again, or you can just cover it with something else. Another piece of paper. But that doesn't bother me. Because actually what we're going to do is we're going to put a label on here as well. And some of that's going to get covered up anyway. So, okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a notch here real quick. Let's see. Let's do it right about there. Ought to do. Alrighty. Yep. Good deal. Get that out of there. Boop. Fold this down, and we're going to ink this real quick before we go any further with the closure part. And this is another one of those that you can mass make a bunch of these as well and keep them around and just yank them out when you need them. I've got about a dozen or so just ready to decorate and use. Now, again, feel free to fast forward through the inking process. And hit the edges. I like to hit my corners really good. And a corner here. And this corner here. All right, so there's that. Now, for the closure part, okay, you're going to need some twine or string or butcher's twine, jute twine, whatever you want to use. And you're going to need a label and an eyelet as well, okay? So let's go pick a label real quick. Let me grab one of my boxes here that I know has large pieces in it. Let's see what we've got in here. Those are way too big, I think. Too big, too big. No. Not quite big enough. Not what I'm looking for. Something like this. That'll work. Let's see. Yeah, but I don't like that label. What do I have over here? I want to do it in brown. Do I have a brown label? Let's see about that. That's a pretty script. Still not quite what I want. Let's see what I have over here. Those are too small. What about this? Too big, you think? I like the shape, but I think I like that better. Yeah, I do. All right, real quick look again. Let's see if there's anything. Ooh, what about this one? It says violet on it. I really think I like the script better. Yeah, we're going with this one. Okay, so you can pick your label. You want it fairly large, but then again, you can pick whatever shape you want. It's your pocket, your envelope. Okay, and we're going to just distress this real quick as well. And I might even distress the edges. I will. So by distress the edges, I mean I'm going to take my scissors here and I'm going to kind of like scrape the edges to give it a little dimension, and then we'll go back over with some ink. It's a really cool effect. Tim Holtz actually has a tool that does this as well. You don't need it if you don't want it. If you have it, grab it and use it. If you don't have it, just use the edge of your scissors. And then when we ink it, it's a little bit just another distressing effect, and again it will give us some dimension and some more texture. And a little bit more, what's that word that everybody, interest, more interest, it gives it more interest. Alright, now what we're going to do is glue this kind of halfway, half off. You want it to hang off just a little bit, enough for where you're going to put your eyelet, yeah? Okay, so I'm going to take the glue, I'll put it on about half here, and then attach it to the flap. Make that even. Let me move that quick before it sets. I think that's good. Right about there. Okay. Now I left enough because I'm going to put my eyelet actually in the label. Right? Alright. Now grab yourself an eyelet. And I'll grab my crocodile or whatever you use to make your holes with. And we're going to go with this color here. Make sure I got the right setting. And let's punch our hole. This side. We're going to go right about in the center, close to the edge, right there. And then we're going to add our eyelet. Okay, and so it looks like this. And now for the rest of the closure, for the tie, I'm going to use jute twine for mine. Okay, what I do is to measure how much I need. I'm going to thread this through the underside here, and because we're going to tie a bow, and I'm going to just pull out a bit, right? Then I'm going to go around, and then past the eyelet a little bit, enough to where I know I can tie the bow. Chop that off. Now, you can go around a couple times and then tie it. It's a really cute look. But if you plan on gluing this down to a page, you won't be able to open it again. So I only go around once. So I go around once, okay? And then I'm actually going to flip it over. And I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac and I'm going to go down the center with a thin bead of glue to glue down that twine. Like so. And just roll that into there. Like that. Just hold it for a second and it'll catch. It won't take very long. Okay. Just like that. All right. Okay, then you just flip it over. If I get this to stick up here. There we go. All right. We're going to flip it over and then just tie a bow. Okay. And that is the closure for this envelope. How cute is that? I think it's super cute. Boom. And there you go. Yeah? All right, the next idea, or the idea that we had, was we were going to put one of these, a smaller version, on the back and then make this flip. So let's use one of our strips to make the flip. They flip over here. So we'll use this piece. Let's measure it. Cut it. Size. Is that right? It's pretty close. Okay, I'm going to straighten this up just a little bit. It's a little woggy. There we go. And we're going to fold this in half to make our flap. And I think we're going to ink it as well. So let's go ahead and I'm going to miter this just a smidge on either end, and then I am going to ink it. Okay, you don't have to do this, and just for the sake of time, I'm not going to ink the envelope right now. I'll do that later. All right, let's put this piece on here. Like so. Okay. Okay, got it a little bit past the edge, which is fine. That's okay. Okay, let's see if I can fix that a little bit. There we go. That's even now. Open up, so okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay, that piece is down. Then we're going to make the smaller envelope real quick, and then attach the whole piece, and then we'll attach the other piece in a little bit. Okay, let's clean this up a little. All right, let's put this to the side and make the smaller one. So this one is little, almost 4 inches, about 3 3/4 wide. So we're going to make a smaller version here, and I think this size would be good. So this one is under 3 inches. So let's cut a piece at 6 inches wide. That's about 6 right there, give or take. All right, and this one we're probably going to chop it down because it's way too tall. But again, just go fold to the middle of the center line here. Same on the other side, and then give it a little bit of overlap so you can glue them back together, right? It's a little too much overlap. Come on. There we go, that's plenty. Right there. And let's make sure that fits in the back here, like that, and it does beautifully. All right, then let's decide how tall we want it. I think I wanted it right about here in the flap, about 1.5 inches. So let's try this. I'm gonna snip off about 1.5 inches and then see where we are. So if we flip this down, it should put us right about here to here. Okay, I'm gonna give it one more little snip by another 1/4 inch. And now we have a piece that is 3 3/4 wide by 6 1/4. All right, let's go ahead and flip the bottom. We're going to do the same kind of envelope, just smaller. Okay, flip this down to the desired length. Make sure it's straight. Give that a nice crease in there. Now, all right, I'm going to cut this a little bit to even it up. There we go. All right, let's do our mitering, yes? Now remember, we're going to cut at an angle here, at an angle at this fold. Same thing up here to create our flap. There we go. All right, we're going to open it up, and we're going to, remember, cut off the smaller outside flaps at a slight angle again. Slight angle on the other side. Okay. There we go. You should have a piece that looks like this. All right. Now we're going to fold this piece down, and that'll be the entrance. You know what? I'm going to use some of this tacky glue for this here. Let's use it up. Okay. Then we're going to close the large pieces and put a thin bead on the edge here and on the inside edge of the other side again, and then seal that shut. Yes, just like that. Easy peasy. Gonna have to use my glue eraser here on this one. I put too much glue on there. I think we're going to go back to our art glitter glue for this small one. Making a little bit of a gloopy mess. Alright, go ahead and hit the edges of your small flap and close the bottom of your envelope. Like that. Alright, now if you wanted to give it a little nip there, you could. You don't have to. I'm going to fold this over, give it a nice crease with your bone folder, and then see how it's a little uneven. I'm going to give that a snip to even that up, like so. Okay, and there is our second envelope, and we're going to glue that to the back of here. Right now, I'm not going to do the same type of closure. I'm just going to put a label here at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this bit real lightly. Okay, let's grab another label. Grab from another box here, see what we've got here. Let's see, how about this one? Looks nice. What do you guys think? Well, it's kind of cut funny, so no. Here's some interesting shapes over here. Something like that would be cute. Maybe that one, I think that'd be cute. Yeah, we'll use this one. And for this closure, we're just going to glue it down here. And we're going to put glue about halfway up. It'll go right about there, and then you'll just slide the flap behind it to keep it closed, yeah? Let's go ahead and ink this up real quick, and then we'll attach this to the envelope, and then we'll attach this envelope to the other envelope, and attach that to the, show you how to attach that to the page, just like we did the other one. So we're going to put this here, right? About halfway up, because you don't want to glue down the flap, right? Place that right there. You just want a little bit above overlapping the flap. That'll keep it closed. Okay, just like that. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to glue this to here. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because of that threading, because of that jute thread, that jute twine. Put a lot there. Excuse me. Then we're just going to center this on top of here, like so, and push down on that. And I think that is cute as a button, like that. Yep, I'm going to let that sit a second so that it dries. Okay, so we put it in on the page and would flip. You'd have an envelope right there, an envelope there. Cute, right? All right, I'm going to pause here because I've got to make an envelope to go with the back of this one, right? And the flap. So let me do that real quick and we'll come back and attach it to the page. And then we'll see where we are on time. All right, you guys, and we're back. Okay, so I finished this piece here. I went ahead and got some music paper and made the smaller envelope for the back and then made the flap as well. And now we'll attach it to wherever it was supposed to go. Okay, do we remember where it went? Let's see. I think it was, yeah, it was supposed to go right here. All right, so we're gonna pop it right here in the center. So when we open it here, we'll be able to see that beautiful image still. Yeah. Okay, actually. All right, let's glue that down. I'm gonna use Fabri-Tac on this because I just don't want that wet ink on that paper. All right, should we just go dead center on it? Yeah, let's just go dead center on it. Okay, open that up, push down here on the flap. And then there we go. Open it up, and we've got a nice envelope right here. Yes, oops. Make sure that dries before you try to flip that open, right? Oh, darn it. I just hit it. Okay. All right, let's let that dry before I keep messing with it. All right, so there we go. Okay, got a nice flip with an envelope on the back, and you still see the image. All right, where are we on time? We are over an hour, so we've done this piece here, and then we did the other flap. Showed you how to make this pocket, make it a flap here, and then again, of course, we did this envelope with a flap here as well with this nice jute twine closure with the label, right? All right, so the next episode we are going to make. This is actually pre-made. I pre-made a bunch of these, but I'm going to make another one for back here. And we're going to cut the hole all the way through because I kind of want it to sit and be a flip. But when it's closed, as you can already tell, what I'm kind of wanting to do with this is, oh, come on. I make it a flip, but I want you to be able to see the guy behind it. So we flip it open like that. So we'll put some ass here. But we're going to go over this one as well next time. So next time we'll do this one and show you how I make my envelopes out of Tim Holtz paper. And we'll do, this is one of those that I showed you earlier, the trifold with the pocket. I'm sorry, the bifold with the pocket. And so we're going to do this one here or this pocket here. This is another pocket flap with a tuck. Kind of the same thing. So we'll decide that. And I believe between that, we have a full page pocket here with a tuck that we're going to do, and one more, I think, stacked pockets, the faux stack pockets. Where did I have those? I know I had those in here. Envelope with a pocket will go there. All right, so we're going to try to finish this up. Oh, we still got like 6 or 7 pieces left to put in here. Where are those stacked? I could have sworn I had a page with some stacked pockets. Well, we'll find it when we get there. But that's what we got for tonight. Thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. We'll try to move a little faster. I'm not the fastest crafter in the world, but I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make those 2 elements today. And like I said, our next video is we're gonna continue to make more pockets and more interactive elements for our custom piece here, our Dog Academia book. Please check out all the papers and everything that I use in the digitals will be listed in the description below. Also, you'll see a link to our Etsy store and a link to our Kofi site. There's some free paper there for you guys to pick out. In our next video, I'm going to share with you 2 pieces of vintage ephemera, and you guys can vote and choose which one you guys get for free. So don't miss the next video, and I'll see you guys there. Talk to y'all soon. Have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. If you did like the video, please hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. And if you're new to our channel, please hit subscribe. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. And then hit the bell, and you'll get notified anytime I upload new content. I will see you guys next time. Bye.